school board meeting that will allow me a tremendous amount of public comments and feedback on our well thought out, hard-working return to school plan. So that was the reason for our target. We apologize for that. Has everybody reviewed the committee minutes? And do they have any questions or comments or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, do we have any public comments?
We do not.
Good, because Carl's probably tired. All right, the next, we're going to talk about said reopening plan on page 5 of your packet. And Dr. Dreyer, please take it away.
Sure. So I'm going to review a plan that most of you have probably already seen. And if you were listening in at all to our board meeting, you know that this is an ever-changing document. So basically, as you know, that we have been working on this all summer pretty feverishly, led by Dr. Gay, our 3 brilliant principals, and the 3 assistant superintendents, along with all the other administrators in the district. And we've had several committees that have been working on ensuring a safe return to our school. In doing so, we've also been very careful and very alert to all the changes and all of the literature and warnings that have been coming out from the state to ensure that when we do open and welcome our students and our staff, that we are safe, our staff is safe, and our students are safe. So what we have done is developed a transition plan that we think is going to meet the needs of everybody coming back. And it's a phase-in plan, and I'm going to start with kind of the phase-in plan and then kind of talk about some of the details around that. We're looking at really kind of starting on a 25% of our students coming back 1 day a week. And we're looking at that because that way we could guarantee that our students will be socially distanced, that we'll have more space in our classes, our hallways will allow for more travel space, and we feel that that's the best way to open our schools. On Wednesdays, our Wednesdays are going to be all remote. So our staff and our students will be home on Wednesdays. Additionally, we're going to start the day with advisory. We recognize that our students and staff have not been in school for a while, and we really want to build the relationships. We want to focus on social and emotional skills of our students, and really kind of focus in on making sure our students and our staff are comfortable back in the buildings, and we know that's going to take some time. So the purpose of moving advisory to the first period, one of the reasons, was to really allow the students a place to come in and feel more at home. So that was the main purpose of moving advisory up to first period. We're also looking at starting the day a little bit later and shortening our periods. So the days that the students are in school, we have it broken out by kind of A, B, C, and D days. 25% of the students will be in school, while their counterparts will be home, and we are hoping and inviting them to tune in online to their regularly scheduled classes so that they're not missing out on instruction. So that's the ideal state that we're looking to welcome students back to. Ideally, we'll transition increasing those days to 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week. And that, if we can't, we could also go back where we may need to go remote, and so forth. So we also are allowing students to be fully remote if that is an option they and their parents choose. Fully remote students will follow their schedule, and they will be able to participate in their classes. They'll be able to log in and follow along with their class schedule as well. Kind of moving along a little bit, we did bump the start date of our students. Instead of coming back on the 12th and 13th, the 13th and 14th, we moved that down. We're giving our staff some more days to start the school year. We are calling those more institute and planning days. We feel it necessary for our staff to transition into the building, to get additional training, working with students in this pandemic. We also felt it necessary to allow our freshman students and our new transfer students an on-site experience without the rest of the students there. So we're not starting full weeks with our students until the week of the 24th. So you could see that schedule there. We are expecting all students to wear PPE, their masks, their face masks, not face shields, cloth masks. There will be exceptions made for students that have a medical exemption. We have those forms available. We have processes in place for students that have tested positive for COVID, and staff or have symptoms or have been exposed. We also have a self-cert process, a self-certification process for our staff and students every day, every morning. Before coming to work, all of our staff will need to self-certify, and our students will also need to self-certify. Our students that are bus riders will need to present a self-certification that they are able to come to school. They need to give that to the bus driver. If they're walkers or their parents drop them off, they'll need to provide that before they're allowed to enter into the buildings. We have cleaning protocols in place. Our hallways and classrooms, again, will have 75% less traffic in them. We are going to have directionality in the hallways as much as possible. We are hoping that our students will not need to use their lockers, not going to allow congregating. We really need, our classrooms are going to look a little bit different. We're not able to set the students up in pods, even though that's, really good practice. We need to have the students face the front of the classroom, and we need to really instill, we need to utilize and maintain seating charts. Students need to sit in the same seat that they've sat in every day. And again, we'll have our usual social and emotional supports for our students. We will have food service, albeit it will be less than it usually has been, mostly grab and goes. You guys are well aware of our tech programs that we have. Co-curriculars are going to follow the IDPH and ISB and IHSA guidelines. And we'll continue to, monitor all of Illinois plans and IDPH. That's a really quick overview. We've been living this for a really long time. I know tonight at our board meeting, if you weren't tuning in, we're again always looking at the guidelines that are coming out, monitoring what's happening with other school districts, and so forth. What questions, ideas might the committee have that we could answer for you? All right. Okay. I'm going to move on then to the co-curricular summary. Every year, you know that we do a co-curricular summary. This year's a little bit different because we were not in school for almost a whole quarter. I'm really just going to go to the summary page. You guys have had this ahead of time. If you have questions, I'll be more than glad to address them. But I really want to point out, I'm kind of proud of our data. You can see comparatively, even with a semester or a quarter, attendance where we haven't had students or staff in school, we're pretty much aligned with our regular co-curricular activity, down a couple percentage points, 1 or 2. What really is down a little bit more than expected are our co-curriculars. And that really is more due to our spring co-curriculars. But all in all, a really nice showing of our students. And if one were to look at the trend data, right, we would probably anticipate that our trend data would have been a little bit higher than last year, but still pretty good data for us to share. Any questions on our co-curricular data? All right, Stacy, I'm going to pass this over to you and let you review our summer school program. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you this evening. And I will get us back to the top of the agenda here. So we are right here, number 5, curriculum and instruction update. So I just am going to share just a couple of things about our summer school programming. We, in the summer, as you remember from our last meeting, we talk about accelerating students, so students who want to take courses to accelerate, and then students who want to take courses to remediate or gain some sort of credit. We also have a small subset of students who are taking academic support courses that they don't necessarily receive credit for, but they do use those as courses that help them, whether it's in math or English language arts. So a couple of things that we changed relative to this summer with everything that happened. We were really well positioned already, seeing as we've had a lot of our summer school working in a blended format. So we did make a couple of tweaks to that, what we already had planned. The first was who you saw last time, Mr. Roditis and Mr. O'Shea, our technology innovation facilitators. And so that was really helpful. Those two individuals were able to really support our teachers as well as support our students, especially in our credit recovery students. So we use a program called Ingenuity, which has content in it. And it was newer for many of our students who were taking that course. We had intended to have a student success center in person at Sandburg, where students who needed additional help could go in to that student success center, receive support from their teachers. But with COVID, we weren't able to do that. What we were able to do was reposition pretty quickly and turn that student success center into an online student success center. So I have some really kind of cool news from that. We had 689 students total in our summer school program this year. Now that is about half of what we normally have. That's due in part to several things. Number one being the number of students who successfully completed their coursework from second semester, in addition to kids just kind of being done and needing a break and saying they didn't want to take summer school this year. So 689 students. Out of those 689, we only had one student that did not complete on time. So that's really a record for us. And that one student just did not hit that final July benchmark. So we were able to remediate and help that student pass. So I'm pretty proud to say we had 100% success rate with all of our summer school students this year. In addition, we did have to cancel our summer school driver education, but our driver education division chairs did an amazing job when things were opened up by the Secretary of State to take the kids that were not able to complete in the spring semester and didn't get those behind the wheel times, and they were able to allow those students to come in to finish up their behind the wheel so they could get their license. So excited about the work that we were able to accomplish this summer. Any questions from anyone in the room or online about summer school?
Okay, policy review, just a couple pages there.
No,
Two pages of light summary.
yeah,
I can
Dr.
do it.
Yeah, Dr. Gay, do you want to go through the
problem.
policy
Yeah,
manual?
so the policy manual, we're doing the entire policy manual. We get again, we work with the Illinois School Board Association to move to a policy manual. I think it's called Policy Trust Plus. And so what's going to happen from now on, we're going to, these are the policies that affect education, we cover that next week, and then building finance has a bunch of bulk of them. There's 9 HR and board, those are the building finance. So the committees can work together. Mr. Grass has been the board representative. We walk through every policy, update it, make sure they're clean. And then the board will approve a board policy, the whole manual again in August. And then from that point on, when the policy is presented to the committees, as always, first reading, second reading, and once it's approved by the board, it immediately goes onto the website. There's no, it takes away the middle person with Lisa doing something. So immediately it's updated. So our manual will always be updated. And you can also do some searches, like when I look up the word co-curricular. It'll pick up any policy that is co-curricular in it. And you can do that or whatever. It'll do all that. So in your packet, there's a bunch of policies. It has some changes to it. And it's just really, when we went through that, some of it was, is always changing some grammatical, some are more intense. Again, all what will happen is when the board passes it in August, it'll be a clean slate. We'll have a policy that is completely updated on the website, and any change from that point on will be presented in the same way. So I think she's good. Is it you doing that? Okay, yeah. Going through a bunch of policy, that you guys had in your packets on. This is really always when we go through press, the company we go through. Press is a they share with us the legal, 99%, not all, are legal changes that have been done due to the law that was passed. Legal suit that would happen, not by us, but a suit that was happening, whatever. So those are all, so we 99.9% always take the press's recommendations because they've been vetted. And so it's nice to have that. And press is part of the Illinois School Board Association, which we're a member of, and we're on the advisory board of press. So we look at them first, we give our suggestions, it goes back to the press, and then press goes out to all 800-some schools. So I know it's tedious, a lot of work that the assistant superintendents did, as well as the committee, and working with Ken Carter from the Illinois School Board Association. But once this is said and done, we have a very clean policy manual. Hopefully, at the end of August, if it's passed at the end of August, the next day, we get submitted, that's online. Is there anything else, Ken? Did that cover it pretty much?
So we would, at this point, not go through any changes to the current one. We would adopt the entire one.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of changes, like that's the red one, it's instruction, the policy, exhibit. But again, exhibits, some of the exhibits and APs are after the fact, after the policy is passed. And exhibits and administrative procedures will be brought to the committee, and then automatically put out. Those are not part of the website. That's internal documents.
Anything else?
No, sir.
I have so many agendas here. I've got this. Oh, that does it right there. Okay, that was me. So, even though we started a half hour late, we're still going to get you out of here about it. Does anybody have any comments or concerns or any other business they'd like to bring before the committee? Everybody's mic is muted. We're good. Okay, we're gonna adjourn this meeting, and our next meeting is going to be September 1st, right?
Or September 14th, why? Labor Day or something.
Labor Day is the 7th, so it'll be 31st Monday.
So
Yeah.
14th.
It'll be the 14th. Yeah. Okay. So enjoy the rest of your summer. We'll see you just before the equinox.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Everyone,
Thank you.
take care.